Stalkers, killers, and hairstylists. From real life to your screen, if you like dark entertainment, this list is definitely for you. Starting off our list today, we have Baby Reindeer, a drama miniseries that aired earlier this year that takes viewers through a cinematic version of the creator Richard Gadd's real life. The show follows the life of a comedian, Donnie Dunn, a character based on and played by Richard. One day, a woman named Martha enters a bar where Donnie works. He feels bad for her. She seems lonely and claims that she can't even afford to buy herself a drink. Donnie gives her a cup of tea, and that one small act changes his life forever. Over the course of the series, we see Donnie and Martha develop a rapport and then a relationship, which Donnie sees as platonic, but Martha sees as so much more. When it becomes clear that Martha has fallen for Donnie, things begin to take a dark turn. Martha begins stalking Donnie and becomes aggressive, trying to weasel her way into every single aspect of the young comedian's life. Eventually, things escalate and she becomes physical towards both Donnie and his new love interest. The series, which Richard Gadd claims is 100% emotionally true but changes a few details for both legal and artistic reasons, ends with a major legal battle, the outcome of which you will just have to watch to find out. Next up, we have The Celebrity Stylist, a Spanish Netflix thriller, but don't worry, it is dubbed in English, based on the true story of an infamous killing that took place in Colombia. In 2021, celebrity hairstylist Mauricio Leal was found dead in his home, lying next to the body of his mother, Marlene Hernandez. Originally, it was declared that Leal had killed his mother and then taken his own life, as a handwritten note was found next to the bodies that read, "I love you, forgive me, I can't go on, I leave everything to my siblings and my cousins, all my love, forgive me, mother." At the time of his death, Leal had been working on collaborating with both Miss Universe and Victoria's Secret, so it seemed strange that he would take his own life. When police decided to further investigate the deaths of both Mauricio and his mother, they soon realized that things didn't add up. It turns out that on the day of his death, a message was sent from Mauricio's phone saying that he would be taking the day off, but according to autopsy reports, he would have been dead long before the message was ever sent. Not only that, but police also discovered that Leal had been linked to illicit substance traffickers, and that prior to his death, he had opened 3 separate savings accounts with a combined total of nearly $500,000, and he had been receiving almost daily deposits of $50,000. Leal's brother, Johnny A., who was set to inherit Mauricio's fortune, quickly became a suspect. In the Netflix adaptation of the real-life event, a young detective is given 20 days to solve the case of Mauricio's death. Does he succeed? Well, you gotta watch to find out. Next on the list today, we have Alias Grace, a drama series based off a double killing that took place in July of 1843 just outside of Toronto, Canada. That year, Thomas Keener and his housekeeper Nancy Montgomery, who was also his lover, were killed in a brutal attack. Keener was hit with a projectile fired from a handheld weapon. We all know what that means, I just can't say it on here. While Montgomery had been hit in the head with an axe before having her airways forcibly restricted by her assailant. The crime had been carried out by James McDermott and Grace Marks, who had been serving the Keener family at the time. After the incident, they fled to New York with a wagon full of stolen goods. When they were arrested, McDermott was charged with first-degree killing, and Marks, who actually showed up in court wearing the stolen clothes of the deceased, was charged as an accessory, but both were sentenced to death for their crimes. McDermott carried out his sentence at the gallows, but before it was time for Marks to carry out hers, she was pardoned and released. The series, available on Netflix, although this video is not sponsored, follows the life and the psychology of Grace Marks and how she became the celebrated killeress of Canada in the 1800s. Next up, we have The Keepers, a docuseries surrounding the unsolved killing of Sister Catherine Kesnick. In 1960, Sister Catherine Kesnick left her shared apartment to look for an engagement gift for her sister. she was never seen alive again. Sister Catherine had been given permission to live and work outside of her convent in an experimental program that allowed her to teach English at the Archbishop School in Baltimore. When she didn't return home, her roommate and fellow nun, Sister Russell, began to worry. 2 months after Sister Catherine's disappearance, her body was found by a hunter and his son in an informal landfill in the township of Lansdowne, Ontario. Her cause of death was a blow to the back of the head. The case was never solved, but 34 years later, 2 former students of Sister Catherine filed a lawsuit against Father Joseph Maskell, claiming that he had acted inappropriately, taken advantage of, and physically and psychologically tormented young women, and that Sister Catherine had been killed to cover up Father Joseph's crimes. The 2 women who filed against Father Joseph appear anonymously in the series, recounting their experiences with the Father, Sister Kathy, and the Roman Catholic Church. Next up, Lover, Stalker, Killer, a true story of a love triangle gone wrong with a major twist. Like, this one was pretty crazy. The documentary follows the story of Dave Kropa, who, after a divorce, decided to turn to online dating. One day he matched with a woman named Carrie Favre. The pair met and they hit it off, but ultimately decided to keep things casual. Because of this, of course, Dave decides to hop back online and he eventually meets Liz Krupa. The pair meet, they hit it off, but again ultimately agree to keep things casual. So Dave is dating 2 women, Liz and Carrie, but neither one is under the impression that they're in an exclusive relationship with Dave. One day, however, Liz Krupa knocks on Dave's door while he is on a date with Carrie Favre. It's a bit awkward, but everyone involved is pretty much unfazed, which makes sense considering they all knew and agreed to the arrangement. But things take a turn when Dave starts receiving angry, stalkerish, and even threatening messages from Carrie, who eventually, according to Liz, goes as far as to burn her house down. No one is safe, not Dave, not Liz, but also not Carrie. I don't want to give too much away, but the twist at the end of this real life drama will absolutely shock you. I literally have goosebumps. You're gonna be going, what the actual fuck? Next up, we have What Jennifer Did. I actually watched this last night and it was really good. It's a brand new docuseries that follows the story of Jennifer Pan and her devious plan to free herself from the strict shackles of her mother and father. The incident, which took place in Markham, Ontario, was originally deemed as a home invasion gone wrong, but things just weren't adding up. And so further investigation into the death of Jennifer's mother and the attempted killing of her father took place. During the investigation, police discovered that Jennifer was anything but the person her parents believed her to be. Growing up, she had dreamed of becoming a pro figure skater, but she got injured, and so she traded in her dreams of success for dreams of companionship. The only problem was her parents were strict. Really strict, and they didn't allow their daughter to do much other than school and school work. Eventually, she met a boy and the 2 entered into a secret relationship, and well, things didn't work out. She blamed her failed relationship on her parents. Each day, her deceitfulness and anger grew until one day, she finally had enough. Next up, we have Mindhunter. If you are a fan of true crime and law and order, this would be the intersection in which all of your dreams come true. This 2-season series follows 2 FBI agents, Holden Ford and Bill Tench, working alongside psychologist Wendy Carr while working for the FBI's Behavioral Science Unit within the Training Division at the FBI Academy. In season 1, the trio dive into the minds of infamous serial killers Edmund Kemper, who killed, decapitated, and dismembered 8 women along with his grandparents, Monty Rissy, who violated and killed at least 5 women, Jerry Brudos, who killed and then violated his victims, and Dennis Rader, who killed 10 people throughout the course of 17 years. The 2nd season of the series follows the investigation of the Atlanta killings, the real case of Wayne Williams, who, despite public outrage, was only charged with the death of 2 of his alleged victims. David Berkowitz, aka the Son of Sam, Charles Manson, and other infamous characters are also portrayed and studied throughout the 2nd season. If you like criminal psychology, it's for sure worth the watch. Next up, we have the 2006 film The Black Dahlia, a cinematic portrayal of the real-life disappearance and death of Elizabeth Short, aka the Black Dahlia. In real real life, on January 15th of 1947, the Black Dahlia was found dead just 5 miles away from the Cecil Hotel, 6 days after having disappeared. She had been visiting Los Angeles to see an acquaintance. When police finally located her, she had been cut in half at the waist and posed like a mannequin in a vacant lot. Because there was no mess at the scene and due to the clean nature of the cuts, police were led to believe that she had been killed by a man with a steady hand and some serious surgical knowledge. 9 days after the discovery of Short's body, an envelope containing many of her belongings was sent to the Los Angeles Examiner. Police had wanted to test the envelope and its contents for fingerprints, but quickly realized that all of the items had been cleaned with gasoline to remove any such evidence. This guy was meticulous. On March 14th of 1924, a note was found in a pile of men's clothing confessing to the crime, but the man was never located, and the legitimacy of the confession was also never proven. The 2006 film follows a fictionalized version of the investigation into Elizabeth's death, in which the killer's identity is revealed, while in real life, Elizabeth Short's death has remained unsolved for the last 100 years. So if you're frustrated by this, maybe the film version will give you some kind of solace. Next up, Don't F with Cats: Hunting an Internet Killer. A single-season 3-part docuseries recounting the events leading up to the identification as well as the capture of internet cat killer Luca Magnotta, who, after initially posting a video to YouTube showing himself taking the lives of 2 kittens, went on to kill Jin Lin, after which he dismembered the man and mailed his body parts along with threatening messages to both political and learning institutions across Quebec. The series showcases not only the seriousness of Magnotta's crimes, which were incredibly gruesome in nature, but also the process in which complete strangers orchestrated an online manhunt for the killer after seeing his initial video. What led Luca Magnotta to commit these horrific acts? A sick mind, or perhaps some kind of external force or persuasion? If you've seen the miniseries, let me know your thoughts. If you haven't, check it out and then come back and let me know your thoughts. And finally, The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. This one had me in a chokehold for like weeks. It's a documentary that covers both the life and death of British Columbia-born Eliza Lamb, whose death was among the most documented at the infamous Cecil Hotel. Eliza had gone to Los Angeles to expand her horizons, but she died shortly after she arrived in the city. Some of her final moments were documented on CCTV footage taken from the elevator in the hotel. She appears to be erratic and possibly scared, but it's unclear as to whether or not someone or something is chasing her. After all, the hotel is said to be one of the most haunted in the world. Here's the thing about the disappearance of Eliza Lamb. Whether or not foul play or substance abuse was involved in the disappearance and death of the young woman is really quite easily debatable. Much like Don't F with Cats, it's something you have to watch and form your own opinion on. There's just a lot of things that don't add up. But on the other hand, there's a lot of things that do. Either way, the story is tragic, but the case is fascinating. Alright you guys, that is the video for today. I really hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to write. Let me know which ones you have seen, which ones you like, and which ones I missed. I've been your host, Hannah Thompson, and I will see you in the next one.